Back to the show. I'm going to try to turn on my camera, but if it's acting up, I'll turn it back off. But welcome back to Sharp Edge News TV. All right, that's me right there. Let's see if we can manage. Welcome to Sharp Edge News TV. Today we have a fantastic show and lineup of stories to cover today. Without any further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and introduce my very own personal person, my uncle, High Chief Oladimeji Abi Togun, the editor-in-chief and publisher of SharpEdgeNewsTV.com. Welcome, sir.
Good to be back with you, Ola.
Awesome. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow, hit the notification, blah, blah, blah. You know what time it is. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, and follow button so you're notified whenever we go live. I appreciate you for doing so. On today's special report, Sharp Edge News Special Report, we're going to talk a little bit about hardship in Nigeria prisons, poor feeding, violence, or protests. There's actually a report here on Sowore's very own Sahara Reporters platform. And also, by the way, Sowore is back in the United States. We're going to talk about that as well. As a matter of fact, let me let the chief pick. Do you want me to play the video of Sowore talking in New Jersey first, or you want me to talk about which one do you want to go with first?
We go first to correctional service.
All right, let's do that. So on the correctional service report here on Sahara Reporters, there's a special report, and I'm just going to read a small excerpt from it, and then we'll take the conversation from there. There's a letter that was received by the chief that he shared with me earlier on. Unfortunately, because of the limitations with the technology today, there's only so much we can do.
The letter emanating from the desk of Nahatu Mahama,
right,
Assistant Controller of Correctional Service.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let me do a quick intro of what we're talking about, and then I'll let you take it from there, right? So on the letter, you see something about attention CWIS desk officers, upward review of correctional welfare insurance scheme, contributions and benefits, request for sensitization and opinion sampling. The Correctional Welfare Insurance Scheme, CWIS Board of Trustees, at its meeting held on the 27th of November 2023, have approved the process of upward review of correctional welfare insurance scheme contributions and benefits. This is sequel to the resolution in the communique reached at the correctional welfare insurance. All right, so I'm going to leave that at that. The special report that I'm looking at on Sahara Reporter says the spokesperson for NCOS, Umar Abubakar, said on Friday, stating that inmates' feeding and welfare would not be tampered with to avoid attacks and protests in the custodial centers. The Nigeria Correctional Service, NCOS, has said it is not alienated from the economic hardship, saying the welfare of over 75,000 inmates in its custody cannot be toyed with amid the rising economic hardship across the country. So you also mentioned something about Mr. Olubunmi. What was his name? Mr.
Olubunmi Ojo.
Olubunmi Ojo.
Minister of Interior.
The Minister of Interior. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and let you...
now paying adequate attention to the welfare of men and women in the various ancillary paramilitary services under the watch of the Ministry of Interior. But here, let us zero in on the memo that came from AC Bahama.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. First of all, educate me as well on what is going on.
The so-called correctional service welfare insurance scheme. Let's just call it the welfare scheme for the workers of the ministry or of the correctional service in particular. And through this, in the past, various contributions were made, deductions were checked off the monthly salaries of the men and women in the correctional service, Nigerian correctional service. Therefore, you would expect that whenever any of these officials get sick, officers, when they are sick, in case of being bereaved and all that, they are supposed to be given like minimum of 250,000 naira uh, in respect of such care, injury, whatever. But that has never been the case. Apart from the fact that Ahmed Jafaru, who Isato was the uh, Controller General of Correctional Service, who has now become the chairman of the governing board, the governing council of the prison service, I mean, or the correctional service, becoming somebody that's continued to have this hold on the uh, smooth operational mode of the agency. Uh, Whenever these contributions are made, are checked off, you can be sure that everything will empty in the personal covers of uh, Ahmed Jafaru. Ali Runababa, the man we have identified as noted, Mr. Noted, because of his limited expressional capabilities or cognitive proficiency, continues to be a good lackey of Jafaru. Jafaru, having served his term as the Comptroller General, was supposed to have left completely, but he left, but continues to have this grip on the service. And so through Ali Runababa, you find out that that is the current Comptroller General. You find out that they operate a conundrum through which they freeze off whatever is supposed freeze off what is supposed to be for the welfare of the generality of the staff, to the extent that from the checkups that were taken monthly from the men and women in correctional service, the Nigerian correctional service built a magnificent hotel on the airport road, Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport Road in Abuja there, known as Caucus. Whatever comes as profit from this laudable investment, which by the way was built through direct labor, and whatever profit dividend declared every is never even declared. Everything empties into the pocket of Ahmed Jafaru, dutifully assisted by Ali Runababa. And lately, when uh, the assistant controller in charge of the welfare program was promoted, she was not even yet due for that promotion. There are internal squabbles and problems, and what has now been identified as their tendency to make it like an exclusive preserve of or privilege for a certain section of Nigeria. You know, no federal character reflected as should uh, it's to be upheld. All these things were going on there, to the point that staff continue to suffer. And when federal government decided to announce a wage award recently, uh, minimum of 35,000 naira every month, to make sure that these people are cornered again, they came up with this idea of an increment in the amount that is to be checked off each employee's salary every month. And that is really very insensitive and bordering on corruption, financial corruption of the highest order, under the watch of the Minister of Interior, who is supposed to network every service under him and make sure that Nigerians who work dutifully do not suffer. Workers within correctional service continue to suffer. And Olubunmi Ojo is turning the other way. Now, to the ridiculous issue of a possibility of prison riots breaking out as a result of food ration, and what have you. You would not believe that on the average today, at sitting, whether you go to a cafeteria, mama put, or wherever eating arrangement in Nigeria, or at a sitting per meal, you may spend up to 2,000 naira. So 3 square meal may cost you average of 6,000 naira. But you will not believe it that the last review uh, for the feeding of Nigerian correctional inmates was done in 2017, and it was pegged at 750 naira per day. The contractors, with what they are paid, are not even able to feed these inmates properly. And it has become a situation of weaponizing hunger. These are people that are supposed to be corrected in all material ways. But now they become more ardent because the Nigerian government has weaponized hunger. Even before the current riotous economic situation in Nigeria, arrangements between various state controllers of correctional service and the what's it called, the Controller General in Abuja, make sure that more money flows into the pockets of highly placed officials, Jafaru at the M, and other subordinates. And prisoners are not well fed. Today, it's become so bad that there was going to be a riot at just prison. In fact, there was a situation of unrest in just prisons the other day. Instead of going to the root of it, the Senate chairman on correctional service, interior ministry, Mr. Adams Oshomole, with all the razzmatazz, the theatrics he demonstrated the other day, has ensured that dogs, you know, dogs that are used in the service get better feeding allowance than humans. They increased the feeding of dogs to 2,500 per day, but the inmates, the primary what's it called? The primary subject within that system has not enjoyed any increase whatsoever. And that is typical of Adams Oshomole. Even when he was leading labor, you would see all kinds of motion, no movement. He has the capacity for deceiving Nigerians on his intent and the purpose. Is he a dutiful? A dutiful lawmaker, a dutiful public servant in Nigeria? That question will continue to be asked about Mr. Adams Oshomole, the former governor of Edo State and former chairman of the ruling party in Nigeria. So this is the situation that the correctional service is in today. And Olubunmi Ojo continues to be applauded, celebrated. His wife already fingered in the fiasco, the corruption situation with the humanitarian service and ministry in Nigeria through his company. Tinubu turns the other way as if there are no troubles within his cabinet. So the question will be asked, like Jesus was asked in the days of old, is this the person that is being expected to come and deliver the good for Nigerians, or we shall wait for another, whether it's Tinubu, Olubunmi Ojo, Ahmed Jafaru, Ali Runababa, all of them? This is how Nigerians will continue to wait in the hope that the renewed hope can be trusted. That is a special report from the Nigeria Correctional Service. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you very much for that. Do us a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, and follow. Turn up your notifications so you are notified whenever we go live. We'll be back in 20 seconds.